So here I am. I forget what take this is. I find myself ranting and raving and realizing I'm becoming the emotional person that this person's posting. I have to do this. And I find it funny. And there are key things in here that I need to bring out. There's a posting called Beware Your Surroundings by Carrie Burke, which I presume lives in Sarasota. And it goes, this man was in the city park taking pictures of little boys. Yeah, I assumed he was someone's grandfather. He sat on the side taking numerous photos until he moved closer in front of me and zoomed in on my sons and took their pictures. I confronted him and he said this is a public place. As I gathered my kids to leave, he got up and walked away. The picture you see is when another mother stopped him. Since his logic was that he could take pictures of our children, of little children, I could then take a picture of his and blast it on Facebook. He left before police were called. How many children photos were on his camera tonight? Now, here's the catch. In this particular paragraph, she makes the announcement he's taking a picture of little boys. How do you know? Were you next to him, zooming in with him? Then she says he took number of photos. There's a little tit for tat, but bear with me. And at the end, he zoomed in on her kids. Okay, now Carrie Burke was the original poster for this, presumably living in Sarasota since the park was in Sarasota. Now here's the funny part. I'm on Carrie Burke's, Carrie Phillips Burke Facebook account. I hit photos. And then I see a picture of a kid with a blue hat on. I see two curly-haired boys in a yellow car. And I see two curly-haired boys eating peas off the kitchen floor. Well, I guess you're sharing pictures of your kids wantingly versus having them taken unwantingly. Not much of a difference in my eyes. They're hypocritical. So, I know, I'm reaching, but bear with me. So as I go down, my first response was, it's the ones that you catch that make you mad, it's the other ones that you don't catch, you just won't know. Which is true. How many people are out there with a really good camera taking photos a half a mile away doing with those deals, right? So, he's right though, he didn't do anything wrong or illegal, and if you don't want your kids taking photos taken in public, don't let them out of your house. It's America, isn't it? Bottom line, it is. If you're out in a public park, you take photos. You sit down. It's a public park. That's what the fucking people want to do. Have a picnic, have a bottle of wine, whatever. But this lady here is making a federal case out of something that a guy is just simply taking photos. Does she know what the photo's of? Now, sitting in front of you, taking a picture of your kid, I understand the bullshit meter's right there. That's when my red flag would pop up. But, and if he was taking a pic and rubbing himself at the same time, yeah, I could see him calling him a pervert, what have you. So, anyways, Melissa pops up and says, no, men, now this is what's funny. This person, Melissa Murray, she's out of Rhode Island in her account, but I think she's out of, why would she be a part of a place that is 1,500 miles away? So she might be in Sarasota. So, anyways, Rhode Island and all that. Again, you go to photos of her account, and you go to the albums, and you got kids at the beach wearing their swimwear. You got a whole array of children there. But yeah, you got to protect the children, but if you're protecting your children, why are you posting up photos of them? You get it? You get what I'm saying? This is the kind of contradictory thing that goes on. But Melissa has a different story about her that I want to bring out. Because no, men like this snap photos of children and doctor their photos at home. So she knows this. I mean, by fact, she would go to someone's house and watch them do the process, right? Now, this is an overactive imagination, in my opinion. Do you not realize his actions is how smut is made? I used to be a videographer for the porno industry. I know what smut's being made. Pedophilia or pedophile videos would not be any different. In fact, there's a big article of it in one of my other videos. I just posted in the same thing. But the bottom line in the matter is, you know, when you have someone say, "Do you know what this is? You know what they do?" They do. Well, them particularly, no. But in a similar industry, yes. But the funny part is, here I am with somebody who doesn't know fucking know and is trying to grandstand over it. They're trying to bring fear. They're trying to indoctrinate. And what about the children clause? It's so cliche. Even South Park fucking makes fun of people like that. What about the children? I think it was even first season, for crying out loud. But we go further. It says, do you not realize his actions, how smut is made? Our children are being children, playing in the parks and so on. Yeah, that's what kids do. They have fun at a park. Slime bags like this snap photos for their own sick purposes. Did you ask them? You don't know. It's a generational gap right there. And there's also a geographical one. You know where he's from. You know, he just likes taking photos of kids. Who knows? The funny thing is, you didn't like the fact photos are being taken of your kids. It was Carrie talking, but this is Melissa Murray talking. Or writing. It is wrong. Hell no, will I not keep my children at home. We will keep rid of the world of slime bags like this. What did he do to become a slime bag? He took photos. Click, click. Click, click. That constitutes being a slime bag. Now, if you're a bird watcher in the same park, click, 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 you might be a slime bag too, because you got a camera. Watch out. Slime bags. This is how ludicrous this post is to me. So, children have, okay, slime bags like this. Our children have value. Our children have the right to be children. Monsters like this have no value, no purpose, and no rights. The thing is, you label a guy a monster for taking photos, not knowing anything about him, and you're saying he has no rights. Police state, we come! Police state! Seek help! Seek help! Oh no, her posts get better and more utilitarian. Now, further down, let's see, maybe we should be sharing a picture of me. Well, if you were to go Google Rev.Ronald French, you got over 25 pages of me. In my church, you'll have about 30 to 40. So it comes to me, I'm quite the public figure, and I've been called worse by more evil people than you, Melissa Murray. So I go off and I do my rebuttal, written of course, and I said best of luck putting a face of pedophilia, because I also posted up a link to all the female teachers who had molested their male students. Then Melissa says, I have no problem getting the face of creepy, dirty old men. My radar is always on. Her radar is on, guys. Watch out. My radar's always on. I chased one out of the river walk in Bradenton a few weeks ago. He decided it was okay to sit and stare at children as they were playing. Mind you, again, an old guy sitting in a park. Does that register as a pedophile? Does it say he's, you know, does he got a bowl of candy? Does he got a fishing rod with a Snickers on the end of it? Yeah, if he did, I would have got that one. But you know what I'm saying? But because he's an old, you know, some guy sitting in a park watching kids play. You know, if there's activity in front of you, you have a tendency to stare at the activity in front of you. I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate, yes, I know. But bottom line is, it's more so ludicrous of an accusation without having proof. So this guy's sitting there watching kids play because there are kids in front of him playing. So she walks up to him and says, out for a hunt? Not today. The longer you're here, the bigger the scene I will make. So the guy left. Any person would left. Because why would you have some psycho bitch acting like a cunt in front of you? I wouldn't. Then again, my sense of humor, I might have just punched her out in front of her kids. That's the funny part. You get an overprotective mom. But a mom and dad would be a team to be worried about. But if mom comes off with her fucking panties in a bunch and you lay her out in front of a crowd of kids, all moms are open game at that point. You see? She puts herself in danger considering herself to be a hero. Wait till she comes across somebody who just don't give a shit. That'd be the fun part. So, she goes off and says all this stuff to this guy. He leaves. Now she says something else that's very Hitlerian. There is no need for a single man to be in a park full of children alone. This is why we as mothers cannot have a common sense law passed to keep these slime bags away from our children. So if you're a single guy sitting in a park enjoying your lunch break and there are kids playing in front of you, these uptight cunt mothers will come up to you and try to kick you out because, God forbid, you're enjoying a lunch break. Yeah, I'm using cunt a lot in this one because they are. Big fucking cunts. Because they want to go off and tell persons, any person, what they can and cannot do, like they do with their children, for the safety of their children. I think a smack in the head reality with a baseball bat might cure that real quick. But that's just saying. You know, why no excuse for any grown-up children that should be against... Okay, here's one. There's no excuse for any grown man to take pictures of children that should be against the law. Apparently you have never seen a Andy Warhol art exhibit, have you? Educate yourself. So, you know, thanks for posting. So all these moms are coming up. You know, I've seen this man before, which is great. You know, community watch. Okay, now she says she's seen this guy before, so she's all scaredy, right? And this person's Kimberly Schaefer-Eider. She's all worried. But there's pictures of her with her daughters in her arms. She's got pictures of her daughters fishing. She's got and these are the main pictures, not even her main wall, not even the picture section. So this is what I get out of the community. This is what I see in the Sarasota Bradenton community. Watch out for the pedos. You know who you I have a video. I posted it up earlier. It's called Rev.Ronald French. Know what you're talking about before you stand on your soapbox. I have a list of all kinds of shit about pedophilia. All the reports, the movies, you name it, dealing with the topic. The funny part is, this post is about the imaginary boogeyman and the dirty old man, the Herbert the Pervert of Family Guy, the Chester the Molester if you were a fan of Hustler magazine back in the day. So these are the guys that they're pointing out, these over 60, 70-year-old men who are just sitting in a park doing nothing or taking pictures. Well, one guy did nothing. I'm surprised she didn't get her head beaten in. But the guy probably was scared off because some psycho bitch bothered him. But you know what? I think, what I want to do is I want to groom a bunch of people to go to these parks and sit back with cameras and take photos and then basically have the parents freak the fuck out and have the cops show up and stay there and say, what am I doing that's illegal? It's a public park, I'm here. If they have a problem with it, they can leave. And that's the same thing. You can't arrest me for a public park. There's no such thing as public truancy. If there was, then you can say, well, this lady with her 2 or 3 kids is considered a gang because it's an assembly of more than 3 people at one area. That's the tit for tat we can get into. I understand being protective, but when you're dealing with women who just feed off of each other's pedophile fucking dreamland of the big, bad, and nasty, yeah, it's out there. But your concept of reality's got to stay fucking focused. If a guy sits at a park and is just staring at kids playing, that's what's in front of him. If there was an optional viewpoint, I'm sure he would have viewed that too. The only person who saw that creepy was you. And the only person who noticed these things would be you, the paranoid mom. I like to see how you do things with your husband, if you have any. Because, I don't see husbands posting up saying they're knocking the shit out of these guys, taking photos of the kids or taking photos of this. It's more like an emotional tampon session on a fucking public place called Minnesota Family Fun, which is about a website for family parks. And the thing is, watch any film, black and white to color, to now. parks always have old people sitting in them. Sometimes they even feed pigeons. But these particular ladies want to jump out of the gun and say, hey, you're a dirty old man. Now in my last video, again, under the words, Rev.Ronald French, know what you talk about before standing on a soapbox. I did put a face on pedophilia. It's everybody. It's the person next to you. It's your reverend. It is your aunt, your uncle, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your cousins. It's your family friend. It's your school teacher, which I have a big list of female school teachers fucking kids. So when it comes right down to it, your radar's on, Melissa Murray. Bottom line is, you're instead of being a sniper shooting that one good shot, you're a shotgun with a bunch of bird shots scattering shit everywhere, not knowing where the fuck you're gonna hit, but you might hit something. But you're taking down a lot of fucking people who may not even be what you say they are. That's the funny part. People want to slander and defame one another. And this isn't even religious drama. The religious drama shit I just deal with all the time because I deal with over 60 types of belief systems. But when I'm dealing with soccer moms or pre-K super soccer moms to be, acting all paranoid that the mighty 60 or 70-year-old penis might touch their kids, is amusing to a point but asinine at the same time. So if you're out there, Melissa Murray, Carrie Burke. Oh, here's one. You ready? T. Jeff Strosser, Dr. Jessica Spencer, Lillian Agri, Beth Hillard, all of you guys. I understand there's a creep watch. Yeah, watch out for the creep at the place. I honestly think you can handle it differently. I know you can handle it better. I was a person who did things horrible in MySpace. I was a troll. I would wipe out groups and harass people for a while. But I had 3 rules that kept the feds from knocking at my door. So in retrospect, if you would have played the villain, if the cameraman did absolutely nothing except for just taking photos, he did nothing wrong. But what is to stop you from getting your cell phone, or if you have a portable camera, as I mentioned earlier, all you women who complain about this guy taking photos, you yourself provide photos. And irony, even the photos you take could be mistaken for provocative. That's the funny part. You as a mom or dad may not see it, but if your kids' legs are wrapped behind their neck, chances are someone's going to take it a little different. But that's the funny part. If some stranger takes a photo, you go, shit, but you go off and you take photos of your kids in a bathtub, hey, that's okay. You know, bunch of fucking morons. So I'm dealing with all this shit, and I'm like, you know, how do you scare these guys away? You take photos of them, not just photos of them. If you're a team, a mom and dad team, or if you're with if you're out on a play date, as they call them, where a couple of moms hang out together with the kids, you have the other mom watch the kids, and you go off and you take a photo of the guy getting into his vehicle, and you take a license plate photo, and you ask the police, this guy's taking pictures of kids. Is he a registered sex offender? If he is, he goes to jail for another distance of time. And if he isn't, well, then there's a thing called an FIO, a Field Operative Information Card. This guy can go off, the cop can go off and write down information that this person's been seen at this park. And then at this point in time, it'll be sent off to maybe a detective group that deals with missing and exploited children, and they can go off and find out if this guy matches any IP address that they're monitoring. And at that point, you got the guy. But if he's just some guy taking pictures, and you don't even, I mean, if he's blatantly taking pictures of a kid, yeah, I'd be upset. But if he's just taking pictures in general, he could be taking pictures of birds. Who the fuck are you to say what he's doing? If your paranoia is so much that your objectivity goes away, or in this case, this guy's face is plastered everywhere through Sarasota. Now, what if he was just taking pictures of birds, or he wasn't? Now you have slander and defamation of character. And everybody who shared this post, you know, all 18 shares apparently, The funny part is, all those people are now liable too. So you got to think clearly, not emotionally, about the shit you're saying or doing when it comes to accusing people of some bad shit. But people sitting in a park and being told that no single man is allowed at a park if there's kids there, I think the peak of paranoia has gone beyond reasonable specifically with Melissa Murray. But that's just my view and my opinion. And for those who jumped on the bandwagon, yeah, I think you guys just need to get a fucking clue before you start doing shit. And yes, I am a reverend. I am a very unique reverend. The kind that doesn't sit there and go and deal with petty bullshit of paranoia that you guys have done. I just think it's too funny. And I wish you guys the best, because you gotta protect your children. I can't wait for someone to do that to me. Because I know when I started my church, that would happen eventually. Someone will point the finger saying I did something bad. First thing I'm going to ask you is to name the 3 tattoos that are below my waist. And if you can't name them or describe them accurately, then we're going to have a fun time in civil court. See, that's the point. You might ruin my name to a point, but I'll just own your house, your car, your life. But that's what's worth the power of the word. People go off on a tangent, making up stories, not gathering up evidence, making accusations, and slandering people. That's the funny shit. Alright, I'm going to finish up my screen pics. I'm going to put the photos and links down here on the photos. And you can see for yourself how people who are paranoid of protecting their children are telling you you're not allowed to be in the park if you're a single man. And if you're taking photos, whether it be of birds or kids, without actually doing anything more than that, is considered bad or illegal. And of course these parents want to go off and put laws against people who are going into the fucking park. Hysterical. I know, I'm devil's advocate here, but you know what, I'm not going to feed the paranoia unless someone did something. If your kid walks to you with his ass bleeding, something was wrong. Or if someone was being touched inappropriately, there's something wrong. But if someone's just sitting in a fucking park enjoying a day, having a lunch break maybe, and being kicked out because there's kids in the park, you're fucked. And honestly, it is a public place. If someone's going to kick me out, better be wearing a uniform or a badge, or bigger than me, because I think there'll be an ass whipping in the middle of a park somewhere with a bleeding mother with some kids screaming. But that's just how I would see it. A crazy lady came up to me, told me she had to get out of the park, and she was telling me all kinds of weird things, and I had no clue. I thought she was a psych patient left the ward without her meds. I had to defend myself. I thought this lady was crazy. And I got you. Take care. Bye for now. Wish you well.